How's everybody doing tonight? Let me turn the music down a little bit. I'm jamming to a band called Humble Pie from their live Rockin' at the Fillmore album. I think it was like 1971. Don't quote me on that, but it's the early 70s, that's for sure, man. And why am I talking like Wolfman Jack? Because I'm talking about music. Oh, baby. And let me tell you, Humble Pie was an amazing band in itself. And a great song, I Don't Need No Doctor. Sure, it's bad grammar, but it's rock and roll, god dang it. And that's what you want with rock and roll, is you want bad grammar. And if you want a guy who plays a doctor, you want a psychiatrist, you want Kelsey grammar. I know, it's not even funny. It just came to my mind. A lot of things that come to my mind are not funny, by the way. Anyways, today, the daily sobriety vlog. Well, it's beyond daytime, as you can tell. It's the evening. It's 10 o'clock at night. Just taking a break from the road, working my way home. Working my way back to you, babe, in a perfect Spinners. Or was it the OJs? I think it's the OJs. Anyways, yeah, because you get older, you just mix it all up. Pretty soon I'll confuse Earth, Wind, and Fire with Chicago. I'll confuse the Stones with the Beatles, and Elvis with Elton John. I told Kim, I said, I think I'm slowly going senile. Don't say that. It's all right. Self-fulfilling prophecy. All right, well, how about this? I'm not completely senile, but let's just say I'm standing on the welcome mat, or shall I say the unwelcome mat, and I'm ringing the doorbell. But I tell you what, I made her promise me this, that if I said these things, this is the safe word, or this is the phrase. If I say this, you need to call 911 and get me in a home right away. And the phrase is this, drum roll. Honey, who was the drummer for the Beatles? Get me out of there. Call 911, the house is on fire. Anyways, welcome to today. You ain't seen nothing yet. I feel like Randy Bachman there for a minute. And if you're not sure who Randy Bachman is, look up BTO. Google that shit, okay? And look up You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet. It was a #1 song. It was a song that they were doing as a throwaway, and their producer went, no, you got to have that on the record. What? And it became their first #1 hit. And he had a stutter because he was teasing his brother who had a stutter. You ain't seen nothing yet. That's where the stutter came from. They were just brothers teasing each other. Little rock and roll history for you. Anyways, today, the daily sobriety vlog. It's a Tuesday, June 2nd. I have been sober for, you ready for this? I don't even know if I am. Are you ready? I hope so. 14,308 days. Wow. Need a drink. Coffee. I've been sober for 39 years, 3 months, and 2 days. Oh, wait. My friends in England, I just flipped them off. 2 days. Isn't that funny how that... Go figure. Peace. If you're in London, say you're in Liverpool with Ringo. Hey, Ringo, peace and love. But don't do that to him. You get a fist in your pie hole. Anyways, 39... I'm just going on right now. 39 years, 3 months, and 2 days. And I've been sober for 470 months. Nice little round, nice even number. I like that one. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell right now. Tonight, I'm just going to talk about something kind of fun. And personally rewarding for me. Redemption. I had an auntie who told me once that your behavior makes you a warning sign on the highway of life. And she was right. And it hurt my feelings. And it really hit me hard. I acted like it didn't bother me. I acted like, well, it's cool, just like Jim Morrison. Yeah. Because on that highway, he said that the road to excess leads to the palace of wisdom. Yeah, warning signs. Cool. Then I remember in 1980 when his book sold, the story of Jim Morrison's life, No One Here Gets Out Alive, and on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, a really cool picture of Jim. Magazines just sold off the stands. Back then you'd buy them at the newsstands, or you have them sent to your home. And it said, he's hot, he's sexy, and he's dead. Yeah, not exactly, who wants to be James Dean? Maybe the first 3 years of his acting career, and then after that, no. But that's the way it is. But redemption. I also had a person from my past reach out to me, and I apologized profusely to her because I had caused her great damage. And I ignored her and abandoned her and left her to fend for her mother. Her mother eventually got married, and she had a stable family, and now she has a great family. And she's my daughter. So yeah, it's amazing, and I feel like I've been redeemed again with her, and it's like more than a second wind. It's a blessing. I've had blessings in my life, being sober, little celebrations of being sober, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, next year's 40. So those are blessings, and those are great feelings. But to be able to speak, well, not physically speak yet, we're not on the phone, but we're on Facebook messaging each other. And I haven't been this happy in a long time. She turned out to be an amazing person, and she raised 2 girls, and her son just is graduating next week. And then she's going to take a little road trip with him, take him to her. His dad lives in upstate New York, and they're going to take a little road trip. And that's going to be, I told her, it's going to be an adventure you're both going to remember. And just to fill in a few blanks that I got, pictures of her children and their names and their birth dates. I'm saying it's her children. They're my grandchildren. Even though I wasn't around for any of that. They're young adults now. But it's an amazing feeling in the situation. And I feel like I've been slightly redeemed. I've redeemed myself in her eyes. And hopefully I can become a benefit to her and her family moving forward. Because when you're out of someone's life, you can say, well, I didn't do nothing. I was gone. I didn't like I messed everything up. Yeah, you did. I did. Because when you're absent from someone, they feel abandoned. And then they might have a problem with relationships because the one person who's supposed to be there left. And you might think you didn't do anything. You did complete damage. I did complete damage to her. And being an alcoholic and a drug addict, I was certainly childish and selfish. And even after I sobered up, it took me years to identify that, take those bricks down from my wall. And even now and then I still do it. But I got to catch myself and go, good God, man. How fucking old are you? What are you doing? Oh, shit, I am acting selfish, aren't I? I could blame it on my mother dying when I was 18 and she was 39. Probably some of that is in there. But I'm not bringing her back with that, am I? Now I feel like I'm doing something with my mother's legacy by being not a warning sign on the highway of life, but a billboard of redemption on that highway. I feel like Jack Nicholson there. Billboard of Redemption. You know what I mean, Chief? You know what I mean? Got a little Jack in me too, if you know what I'm talking about. I think you do. It was really funny because even in lockup, to keep myself, I was trying to keep myself distant from exposing myself and my true emotions at first because it was very frightening. So I just did Jack Nicholson in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Everyone was, how the hell you doing, Chief? Always bucking the authority. Here comes the warden, God damn it, you know. And it kept me safe as far as I was concerned. Comedy always kept me safe. Even though I was making fun and mocking myself, people didn't necessarily realize I was doing it about myself. But all good comedy is you're taking your own pain and misery and turning it into something humorous. And you're basically, when you're making it humorous, you're mocking yourself. So that's what I was doing. And that just got me, when I would do my Jack Nicholson impersonation, I got into this, but the redemption is what I'm talking about. And a whole different chapter in my life has opened up. It's always been there. I just chose not to talk about it, and I chose not to say anything about it. I've gone years working at the restaurant. People say to me, because Kim and I didn't have any children. She's in the music business, and quite frankly, if you're a female in the music business, you can't have a kid. It'll ruin your career. Unless you get to Reba McEntire's level or Celine Dion and you're that level. Beyonce, you're these upper echelon people, then you're going to have a baby. And everyone's like, oh, that's so cool. But if you're up and coming, no, you just ruined your career. So, you know, that's the reason. Once again, that's another sacrifice that people have to make for their careers. But when I was working in the restaurant business, like I said, I've been working it my whole life. You know, people say, hey, you got any kids? No. Oh, I remember in Nashville. Oh, that's a shame. No, it isn't. Do tell why. Look around you. I've got 8 teenagers working with me tonight. I wouldn't wish that on any parent. Oh my God, you're so right. To quote Cyndi Lauper, you're showing your true colors. Cool. That way I knew I wasn't doing the wrong thing. It's hard to be a parent. It's a full-time job. I've had people say to me, you know, you don't look your age. And I say, well, full disclosure, if I was a house, there's a real bad, nasty, dirty crack running down the center of it. You know what I mean? And full disclosure, the pipes are leaking. Yeah. And there's a few busted out windows, and I'm in a bad neighborhood in an abandoned cul-de-sac. A real fixer-upper, you might say. But the thing is like, if I'm going to survive, I have to have a job. And if I get married, that's another job. Being a husband is a job, or being a wife to a husband is a job. Then you have a child, that's another job. And then you have another child, that's another job. And then you have a third child, that's 5 jobs. And 3 of those jobs you can't call sick out. You can't call sick. Call in sick. You can do it to your husband, or you can do it to work, or you can do it to your wife, or you can do it to work, but you don't do it to the 3 kids. Now you know why your hair is gray. Now you know why you're tired. If you don't think the stress of that makes your hair gray, look at every single president that goes in the White House in 4 or 8 years later. You don't look as young anymore. His hair is gray. Except for Trump, because I think his is some kind of rug they stolen onto his skull. But look at all the other presidents. I mean, even the ones that left the White House that were wearing powder wigs are like, shit, I can't tell the difference. I wear a powder wig and my hair is still white. Doesn't matter. I'm talking to you, George Washington. Now, Lincoln looked good, but then again, he didn't complete all his years either. So he was starting to show it in the face, withered a little bit here. I know I danced around a Lincoln joke there, and I know it's too soon. I wasn't about to dip into that, you know. I've been to Ford's Theater though. Yeah, it's one of those things you go to when you're in Washington D.C. And that's one thing about working in the restaurant business for Applebee's. I got to see a lot of the United States and Europe. Yay! But those are for other stories. But the interaction with people, that was part of my redemption and the rebuilding of myself, because people didn't know I was a drug addict and a drunk. They just heard about it. I remember being in Philadelphia. Yo, Philly, love you, man. Philly, fucking awesome. Forget about it. And I had a good time out there with folks. And I would drive my team to the bar. I wasn't drinking and doing drugs, but they go have a good time. I'd shoot pool and shoot the shit with everybody, and I'm socializing and mingling. And then I get everybody back to the hotel safe and sound. I guess I was practicing to be a Lyft and Uber driver back in the day. Should have came up with the concept myself. I was literally doing it just to make sure everyone got back, so that we didn't have to call Applebee's and say, yeah, Billy took the rental cars out, got into an accident, and he got a DWI. There are some DWI stories I'll talk about later, though. Yes, not with me, but with my staff and coworkers. But yeah, redeeming myself brick by brick to the point where people would find out how bad I was. How long you been sober? And I think at the time I was like 9 years sober. Really? You were that bad? You don't seem like you would have a problem. Well, that's the whole thing. You ever hear of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? Well, you don't think Dr. Jekyll is Mr. Hyde until he drinks the potion. If I drink too much of that potion, you will find out that I am Mr. Hyde, and I will tear everything apart. My life, your life, our reputation, our business, everything. I'm just a big cat, and the world is my litter box. Think of Jack Nicholson saying that. I'm just a big cat, and the world is my goddamn litter box. You know what I mean? Cheers. You know, the thing is, like when you're getting sober, there's an awkward moment where you might feel it, not like part of the team. You're not part of the in crowd. You're on the peripheral vision of everybody. Everyone's having a good time, and you're just sipping a Coca-Cola or a tall glass with a Coke. So everyone thinks it's probably a whiskey Coke, hopefully. I'm just trying to blend in. Because you still want to socialize. You still want to meet people. Especially if you're single, you want to meet people. So that was the whole thing. I remember when I met Kim, I was drinking tall Diet Cokes, you know, and I would buy her a drink and buy her girlfriends a drink, and I'd be out there dancing on the first set. Well, wow, he must have already had a couple. White guys don't usually get out there and dance on the first or third song of the first set. What? You can't keep them off the floor the last 3 songs of the night, but in the beginning, no. But even before I met her, I would do that, because then women would notice. They noticed me because of that. And I could easily approach people. And as I was going through treatment, I learned the fear of rejection to reduce it. And then when I did that in a social setting like a bar, I was very seldom ever rejected. And that was like an amazing superpower to me. So my fear of rejection really shrunk. And if you can shrink that fear of rejection, that's part of the hole in your soul that you got to try to close up. It's an ongoing process, and then someone hurts your feelings again, and then, oh, fuck, I almost got, oh, God, she hurt my feelings. So it ebbs and flows, trust me. Sorry for the bad acting, but that's the only kind of acting I do. Sometimes I do it in a Shakespearean tone, but it's still crap. Do not forget, crap is still crap, even with an accent. Anyways, I'm having a good time swimming around in my lap of redemption, lap of luxury that's become redemption. And I'm looking forward to better things. Got emotional for a minute. Yeah. Glad you were here to experience it. You know, in charge of all my emotions. I'm in charge of everything. And I feel them. And I feel them greatly. And if they're great high feelings, you feel the highs. More so if you're high. Isn't that ironic? If you were high, you wouldn't feel how high you were feeling high. But now that you're not high and you feel an emotion that is uplifting, you actually feel higher than you were if you were high, by the way. How's that for confusion, huh? The addict's mind. And where is the addict's mind? Up top. That's where the addict is. You see what I did there? Also, if you're in marketing, it's called top of mind, top of mind, top of mind. What does that mean? There's a reason why you hear 4 or 5 ads of Coca-Cola every day, because they want to make sure they're number 1 and Pepsi's number 2. You already know what Coke is. They're not a goddamn person in the world that doesn't know what Coca-Cola is. Why do they keep advertising? Top of mind, top of mind, top of mind. I'm going to go have a drink. I'm going to go have water. I'm going to have a Coke. I'm going to have a Coke. I'm going to have a Coke. Top of mind. It keeps them coming back for more. And that's why people go to AA meetings or Narcotics Anonymous meetings, because you're keeping your addiction top of mind, top of mind, top of mind, and you're with a lot of like-minded people that are struggling just like you at different degrees through their sobriety. And yeah, that's how you contain it as best you can. Because at first you want to contain it, and your addiction is like some kind of superstar wrestler that does not. You can't contain me. It takes a while. It takes a village. It takes an army of people to help you get to that point. And once you get to that point, it's like a teeter-totter. It's not abrupt. Boom. It's just kind of slowly and gradually. And you can feel something happening. You can feel a momentum. Things are getting better. And it's a wonderful feeling. Or as Jimmy Stewart would say, it's a wonderful life, Clarence. Sometimes I feel like I'm Clarence the Angel when I'm grabbing people around, because they'll sometimes tell me what's on their mind. And when you're driving, you become kind of a therapist. Kind of like the old TV show Taxi Cab Confession, because people were more loose and partying, and what's in Vegas stays in Vegas, man. So, they're more likely to open up, so that was perfect. But you didn't need that. You don't need that, because here in Houston, the 4th largest city in the United States, and it's the most diverse, I get a lot of confessions. Now, late at night, if they're drinking, I don't come across going, oh, by the way, I've been sober for 39 years, and crack me upside my head for being an arrogant ass. But other people, and I just, you gotta come party with me, man. Like, I can't do it. To make a bullshit story, I'm paying the rent. Got to do it. You know what I mean? But thank you. 5 stars. Like and subscribe. That's the story of my life now. Like and subscribe. But that's what gets everyone noticing. So it's important. It's important to reach out. It's important to enjoy your redemption and enjoy your journey. Enjoy every step of the way, because eventually you won't be making any steps. Yeah. So I'm in the 4th quarter of my life. I want to make sure I finish it strong. And Tara's given me the opportunity at this moment to try to straighten out all the most horrible wrongs I've done by abandoning my only child. And that's nothing to be proud of. But I'm excited because she's given me a chance. And she's reading me what I've sent her. And then she said something real flattering, that she saw me on the internet. Like, oh my God, I'm flattered and I'm embarrassed. But that's the thing. When you're watching this, I can become a friend that you and I have an addiction, and we're sharing some stories, and maybe some of my stories don't even apply. Maybe some do. But the attitude should apply. You go, God, I feel that. I want that. That's what I'm looking for in your life. Exactly. Because we all have a different personality, but our patterns of addiction framework is the same. It's just that we color it in between the squares, the patterns, with our own personal colors. And so it's, it's nice, it's rewarding. You can enjoy your life. I'm enjoying my life. I'm kind of giddy and kind of scatterbrained right now tonight because it's a really good feeling. I never thought this would ever resolve. I've been keeping it in the back in my rear view mirror, and I never knew how to even approach it. There will be a time, I'll be talking about it though, when I did try to reach out to her mother when I was actually in treatment, because they started telling me you have to start reaching out for people you've wronged. And her mother, Pam, I wronged her horribly in her family, and Tara was collateral damage. But it didn't go off well, and I was still very sensitive. My nerves were raw, and I've only, when you're detoxing, and I've only been detoxing for 30 days, I don't have a quite handle on the situation. So the conversation was short but not sweet, and it escalated right away. And that can happen, and I regret that it happened, but it did. So I'll talk about that a later time when I go deeper into some of my conversations about my stories of my past and being in lockup, because those of us that go through treatment, those of us that are locked up, will be able to identify with that. Some of us who have not been through it yet, but you just might be soon, you might want to check out those videos too. Yeah. Especially if you're in lockup. Might as well just fire them up now. I'm going to be your cellmate. But not like that kind of a cellmate. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Chief? I don't swing that way. I wouldn't bang you or Nurse Ratched. Anyways. Sorry, a little bit of a homophobe joke there. Shame on me. It's Pride Month, for God's sakes. Now, what can I say? I would take a shot at everybody, even myself. But thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. Thank you for Patreon. Thank you for Venmo, Cash App, Buy Me a Coffee, all that good stuff. Thank you for spending time with me on the daily variety show, daily sobriety vlog. And it is a bit of a variety. I try to keep it as vaguely variety as I can. I think I just hypnotized myself with that bullshit. Anyways. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Tara. Thank you. Also, with you spending time with me is very important. From the bottom of my heart, top of my soul, I see you. Thank you very much. Let's do the recap. Let's do the stats, shall we? So today's daily sobriety vlog is Tuesday, June 2nd. Oops, gonna offend people in England again. Peace and love. June 2nd. I have been sober for 14,308 days. What a long, strange trip it's been. And you'll hear me say that a lot. 39 years, 3 months, 2 days. 470 months sober. I surprise myself sometimes. But I thank you for being here. And in the words of Ringo, peace and love, everybody, peace and love. I love the fact that you join us. I love each and every one of you. And I'll see you on the next Daily Sobriety vlog. Peace and love. Love you long time, as they say in the Far East.